For a church known for its commitment to service, peace, and sharing a cup of cold water in the name of Christ, no place has become more synonymous with that commitment than the Brethren Service Center in New Windsor, Maryland. Purchased in 1944, it hosted the church's relief efforts to Europe after World War II, was the location for BVS training for many years. It was the initial staging ground for Dan West's Heifer Project, and became the headquarters for refugee resettlement, disaster response, on-earth peace, Serve Self-Help Crafts, all projects related to service, peace, and meeting human need. Yet the recent sale of the upper campus of the Service Center does not signal any lack of support for these valuable ministries that continue to be at the heart of what it means to be brethren.
Each of us has a responsibility as a follower of Jesus to live into the gospel, and as members of Christ Church, we are indeed to reach out to those around us.
So using some of the proceeds from the sale of the Brethren Service Center Upper Campus, the Mission and Ministry Board has established the Brethren Faith in Action Fund to provide grants to support congregations as they live out their faith in their local communities. The grants, up to $5,000 a year, are available for any outreach ministry of a congregation, fellowship, or new church plant that relates to service, peacemaking, or meeting basic human need. Grants must be for ministries of the congregation itself and not pass through to other organizations. And congregations applying must match at least half of the grant amount with their own resources.
They can receive up to $5,000 per year for a grant, and so if they were to match half of that, then the church would have to come up with up to $2,500 of their own funds in order to receive a grant up to $5,000.
Congregations can reapply for additional years, but are limited to a total of $15,000. The infusion of grant money can be invaluable to a congregation's emerging ministry. When the Harrisburg First Congregation began Brethren Housing back in the 1980s, grant money provided a huge boost.
The initial grant money was really critical in helping to keep the ministry going in those first years when it's touch and go as to whether you'll be able to succeed or not in a new ministry. So those first funds were really critical.
Brethren Housing used grant money to purchase and renovate buildings near the church where homeless families could stay while they got back on their feet. The organization now provides housing for over a dozen families and counseling services to help families escape poverty and homelessness.
I hope it would have survived without the grants, but it certainly would have taken many more years to build up to the level of ministry that is currently in process.
The Peoria, Illinois congregation found that a grant from the Illinois-Wisconsin district jump-started their ministry of snack packs for school children of their community, who often came to school hungry. They initially only had enough money to offer snack packs for part of the school year.
And as we talked to the school, we saw that they were wanting us to do more than we'd really set up to do. And so the district gave us $2,500 grant. So it guaranteed us that we could do this mission for the year.
And it gave us confidence that if we started the program with the school, that we could continue it.
The kind of outreach ministries the fund is designed to support are those which mirror the ministries associated with the Brethren Service Center at New Windsor, such as refugee resettlement, local food banks or feeding programs, even shelters for those in need, education or training events involving peace, service, justice, or fighting poverty. Also likely to be supported are community outreach events involving work projects or meal events hosted by the congregation for the community.
Each congregation needs the opportunity to look within their own local communities and identify the ministry needs. The church is really called to be about that, and so this is an opportunity for them to identify that in their local settings.
The Brethren Faith in Action grants are not designed to provide long-term funding, but can help bolster a congregation's vision for ministry.
In each step of the process of the development of the ministry, grants can help you get to the next level. And that's the value of the grant. It's not a permanent funding source, but it's almost critical to help organizations or ministries get to the next level of their ministry.
And continue the legacy of service carried on for some 70 years at the Brethren Service Center.
Through these funds, that legacy can then permeate out beyond New Windsor and into many local contexts. And so in a sense, this is in one way revisioning New Windsor coming to many of the local congregations through the sale of this property and the use of these funds.
Churches have, in my mind, a responsibility to be reaching out and being Jesus' hands and feet in the local community. I know there are lots of congregations that are doing great ministries, and this would be another resource for them to really work within their local settings. We think it's a great opportunity for congregations.